The Underneath, Part 7, Sunset. As John's decapitated corpse collapsed, neck stump sizzling, Ahab dove at Adeena, knocking her over. They struck the asphalt, and Adeena saw another silent flash of light. The car windows overhead exploded, shards of glass red hot as they splattered into the road. "John!" Adeena screamed. "He's gone," Ahab said, holding her down. "He's gone. They sent a solar sniper. They must have known we'd eventually come back here." Another flash, and the tires near their head burst, the rubber bubbling as it melted. "What do we do?" Adeena asked. Ahab shook his head. "I don't know. Solar snipers are daylight assassins. They use a weapon that manipulates ambient light. It creates bursts of extreme heat and pressure. It has nearly unlimited range, and as long as there's light, unlimited ammunition." "So we just wait," Adeena said, looking at the sunset. "He won't be able to shoot us when the night falls." "Well, there's still moonlight," Ahab responded, "and while it's not as powerful at night, waiting around another hour guarantees another surprise visit from the sleep police." The pavement near the prone bodies exploded in the wake of a fourth flash, and they crawled backwards away from the car. "Where is he?" Ahab murmured to himself, examining the scorch marks on the ground. His eyes froze as he traveled upward toward the passenger's side door. "What is it?" Adeena whispered. Without answering, Ahab reached into his bag, retrieving his heat ray gun. He took aim, pulling the trigger, and Adeena watched the passenger's side view mirror droop as it melted off the car. Ahab dove forward, catching the mirror in his hands as he skidded across the road. Rolling back toward Adeena, he held up the mirror. "The rifle uses light, right?" he said. Adeena nodded. "You're going to deflect the beam?" Ahab grimaced. "I'm going to try, at least." He tossed the heat ray gun to her, and she fumbled to catch it with her remaining hand. "It's on the highest setting," he said, as she adjusted her grip until her finger rested on the trigger. "When the solar sniper fires, you should see a second flash at the origin point. Find where he's shooting from and burn it down." Adeena nodded, readying herself. 3, Ahab began. 2, 1, go. They sprinted around the car, Adeena flanking the left while Ahab flanked the right. Squinting, Adeena watched the row of 2-story homes pass the other side of the playground, lagging behind so that Ahab would be the first to reach the jungle gym. She saw the dying sunlight twist and writhe across the grass, slithering in the boy's direction, and returned her attention to the houses. There, she thought, blue one on the left. Sure enough, she spied a bright glimmer in the upstairs window of the home, with a small, thin silhouette standing behind the light. As the sunlight converged on Ahab, she lifted her arm, taking aim with a heat ray. The yellow light beams rushed up Ahab's body, congregating around his heart, but as it focused, he quickly raised his mirror, blocking the spot. Adeena saw a flash, and the mirror exploded from the boy's hands, while a beam of yellow energy carved a smoking divot in the earth a few yards away. "That was my one shot," he lamented aloud. "Don't worry," Adeena thought. "I got him." She pulled the trigger, and flames instantly erupted from the sniper's window, the backdraft shattering the glass. The rifle-wielding silhouette launched itself from the house, clothes ablaze, and landed out of sight beyond a row of cars parked along the sidewalk. "Come on," Ahab yelled. "We don't have much time." Adeena joined the boy, tossing the ray gun back to him, and together they sprinted to the jungle gym. As they reached it, Ahab dug through his bag, producing an old flip phone. He dialed a number and put the device on speaker, placing it at the foot of the green tube slide as it began belting a loud, monotonous, busy signal. "Up or down?" he asked. Adeena cocked her head. "What?" "Up or down?" he repeated, louder. "Did you crawl up the slide originally to get here, or did you go down it?" "Oh, up." Ahab nodded. "Then this time, we go down." They turned to the cramped plastic stairs, crawling up them to the apex of the tube slide. As they reached the highest platform, an explosion rocked them, and the nearby swing set evaporated in a shower of molten metal. Adeena glanced back toward the burning house, and she caught a glimpse of the solar sniper. Young, feminine, with long brown hair and beady eyes hiding behind a familiar, olive-skinned mask. Is that me? She gasped. Look, Ahab shouted, ignoring her. She turned to the slide, within which flickered a dim, green light. The solar sniper took aim again, the final bits of sunlight converging on the slide, and Adeena grabbed Ahab by the waist, hurling them both into the abyss. They tumbled down plastic, static electricity building up in their hair and clothes before emerging at the bottom, crumpled in a heap. Behind them, Adeena saw the green light flicker once more before fading into darkness. Groaning, Adeena pulled herself out of the slide, collapsing on the grass. Ahab followed suit, and together they anxiously inspected their surroundings in the setting sun. No rust on the jungle gym. No pale faces peering through windows. No Annies patrolling the street. And, it seemed, no solar sniper chasing after them. To Adeena's surprise, a giggle bubbled up from her throat, and she covered her mouth, silencing it with a squeak. Ahab looked at her, and his thin, red lips curled up into a smile as he chuckled a little. She dropped her hands, laughing with him, and as their bodies shook, they embraced. Tears formed at the corner of her eyes, and she felt her laughs devolve into sobs. She cried, burying her face in the shoulder of the boy from another world, mourning Natik and John and even Trina. Eventually, the tears diminished, and she sniffled, pulling away from Ahab. "We have a lot to do, don't we?" she asked. His eyes met hers, and she saw a tinge of sadness behind them. Even deeper, though, glimmered a spark of hope. "Yes," he finally replied. "Yes, we do."